Sunrise on the Reaping summary in 5 minutes. Sunrise on the Reaping is a powerful and emotional story set in the brutal world of Panem, long before the events of the Hunger Games. The novel explores the origins of rebellion, the psychological cost of survival, and the early seeds of resistance against the capital's oppressive rule. Through its characters and events, it sheds light on how fear, control, and hope shape a society built on inequality. The story takes place during a time when the Hunger Games are firmly established as a tool of domination. Every year, children from the districts are selected to fight to the death in a televised spectacle, designed to remind the population of the capital's absolute power. But beneath this system of control, tension is quietly growing. At the center of the story is a young tribute from District 12. Unlike the defiant figures who will come later, this protagonist begins as someone trying simply to survive. They are not naturally rebellious, but they are observant, thoughtful, and deeply affected by the injustices around them. Their journey reflects the gradual awakening of awareness, how someone moves from acceptance to questioning, and from fear to resistance. The Reaping, the annual selection of tributes, is depicted with intense emotional weight. Families gather in silence, knowing that any name called could mean a death sentence. When the protagonist is chosen, the moment is both shocking and inevitable. It marks the end of their ordinary life and the beginning of a journey defined by danger and uncertainty. As they are taken to the capital, the stark contrast between districts and the ruling elite becomes clear. The capital is extravagant, colorful, and seemingly carefree, a place where the suffering of others is turned into entertainment. For the tributes, however, it is a place of manipulation. They are trained, styled, and presented to the public as characters in a narrative designed to captivate viewers. Here, the protagonist begins to understand the deeper cruelty of the games. It is not just about survival, it is about performance. Every action, every alliance, and every emotion can be used to gain favor or provoke reactions. The tributes are expected to play roles, whether as heroes, villains, or tragic figures, all while facing the reality of death. During training, the protagonist meets other tributes, each with their own story and strategy. Some are aggressive, preparing to dominate the arena. Others are terrified, barely able to cope with what lies ahead. Among them are a few who quietly question the system, hinting at the possibility of resistance. These interactions begin to shape the protagonist's perspective, showing them that they are not alone in their doubts. Once the games begin, the story shifts into a tense and brutal struggle for survival. The arena is carefully designed to create conflict, filled with hidden dangers and limited resources. From the very start, chaos erupts as tributes fight or flee. The protagonist must quickly adapt, relying on instinct, observation, and cautious decision-making. As days pass, the psychological toll becomes as significant as the physical danger. The constant threat of death, combined with isolation and exhaustion, pushes the tributes to their limits. The protagonist is forced to make difficult choices, whether to trust others, when to fight, and how to maintain their sense of self in a situation designed to strip it away. Amid this struggle, moments of humanity still emerge. Temporary alliances form, acts of kindness occur, and glimpses of compassion break through the violence. These moments highlight the central theme of the story: even in the darkest circumstances, people can choose to care for one another. At the same time, the influence of the capital is ever present. The games are controlled from afar, with changes to the arena and events designed to maximize drama. This reinforces the idea that the tributes are not just participants, they are pawns in a larger system of control. The turning point of the story comes when the protagonist begins to see the games not just as a fight for survival, but as a symbol of oppression. They realize that every act within the arena has meaning beyond their own life. Even small choices, showing mercy, defying expectations, or refusing to play a role, can challenge the narrative imposed by the capital. This realization transforms their approach. While survival remains the goal, it is no longer the only one. The protagonist starts to act in ways that subtly resist the system, even if the consequences are dangerous. These actions may not overthrow the capital, but they plant seeds of doubt and inspiration that extend beyond the arena. As the games reach their climax, the tension intensifies. Fewer tributes remain, and the pressure to win becomes overwhelming. The protagonist faces their final challenges with a new sense of purpose, balancing the instinct to survive with the desire to hold on to their humanity. The conclusion is both powerful and thought-provoking. Whether through victory, sacrifice, or a combination of both, the protagonist's journey leaves a lasting impact. Their actions demonstrate that even in a system designed to enforce submission, resistance is possible. The story ends with a sense of quiet change. The capital still holds power, but something has shifted. The events of the games have revealed cracks in the system, moments where control was not absolute. These cracks hint at the larger rebellion that will one day emerge. Ultimately, Sunrise on the Reaping is a story about awakening. It shows how ordinary individuals can begin to question injustice and how small acts of courage can lead to larger movements. It is a reminder that even in a world built on fear, hope can rise, and that every act of defiance, no matter how small, can shape the future.